The Forum Boarium is one of the most historic areas of ancient Rome. The Forum Boarium is located next to the Circus Maximus and butts up against the Tiber River. It also feeds into the Velabrum area and is also flanked by the Forum Hortatorium, or the vegetable market of Rome. And you go all the way back to the time of Hercules, according to Roman tradition. So Hercules is passing through on his labors. He has his own cattle, and some of them are stolen by a local ogre named Cacus. Now, Cacus was also torturing or antagonizing the people that already lived there and settled. They were Greeks, famously Evander. Now, this is all according to Roman legend. So it's Hercules that kills the beast, frees the Greeks from this terrible tyrant, and ultimately the Greeks, led by Evander, worship Hercules, give him an altar, the MAXIMA, the greatest altar, and proceed to worship him openly. Then AENEAS arrives on the scene. AENEAS, whose descendants will found Rome, that is Romulus. So what do we see when we go to the Forum Boarium today? Well, we see a number of Republican temples that are still standing because they get converted to churches in the Christian period. The earliest structure that we have is the temples in the sacred area of SANT'OMOBONO, dedicated to Mater Martuta and to Fortuna. You have one of 4 shrines dedicated originally to Hercules still standing, and it is known today as the Temple of Hercules Olivarius. The other shrines are dismantled, but one standout is another temple of Hercules, and its cult statue is still preserved. This gilded bronze statue still stands as on display in the Capitoline Museums on the Capitoline Hill today. And you have the Temple of Portunus, the god of the first port of the city of Rome. So we have a series of shrines and temples in an area that's primarily dedicated to the acts of commerce and trade, buying and selling beef. In the imperial period under the Severans, you have the Arch of the Argentarii, which is dedicated by bankers and merchants in the Forum Boarium. Next to it, much later in the Constantinian period, you have the so-called Arch of Janus. What happened to the remains of the great Auto Maxima dedicated to Hercules? Well, there are archaeological materials underneath the church of SANT'OMOBONO and COSMEDIN, which archaeologists identify with that structure. What's the medieval church famous for today? The Bocca della Verità.